like, if you were one of those people who were kind of just like me and you've seen the TV spots and the trailers and you're like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna skip this. Stop right there, okay? 'Cause you need to see this movie. This movie is fantastic. It's literally one of the year's best. It blew my fucking mind. I mean, just the foreshadowing at the beginning of the film is just so eerie. I mean, you could like cut the suspense with the suspense in the air with a knife. Seriously, I mean, it's just so thick. One of the main characters sort of like wakes up from a bad dream at the beginning of the film. There's this moment with a soda can and there's another moment with birds at the very beginning of the film that's just like man, I got a bad feeling about this. Like, shit's about to get fucked up, ain't it? Across the boards, everyone is solid. I think the standouts will probably be Dylan O'Brien, Kurt Russell as this guy Jimmy. He was fantastic. He was very convincing, and especially Mark Wahlberg. You know, Mark Wahlberg, he's not like a great actor. You know, he doesn't have like a billion facial expressions like Jim Carrey or Joseph Gordon-Levitt or Daniel Day-Lewis, but he's solid. You know, he's got these little subtleties and little nuances, and like there was one scene where Mark Wahlberg, where he's like reciting all the errors currently going on with the Deepwater Horizon, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this almost feels like Aaron Sorkin just hopped on the script for a second. Like, it was amazing. Like, in that scene, I was just like, damn, he's really good here. And throughout the whole film, he's like that. He's just very convincing. At the beginning of the film, there's great ominous foreshadowing, right? And then when we get to the drilling rig, and you realize that they should have performed some tests, but they didn't for some reason. And, John Malkovich, who, fuck his character, John Malkovich and his team are just like, before more tests, whatever, nothing's gonna go wrong. Let's just go ahead and drill away, right? And seriously, during these moments here, before the blowouts, the explosions, we get Mark Wahlberg as he's walking around this drilling rig, doing routine maintenance and talking to people. You really get a sense of these characters, and each character is very richly defined. There's not a lot of time spent on any one particular character, which I thought was great. Each character was defined sufficiently, and I thought that the chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and his daughter and Kate Hudson was just amazing. There was one time when Kate Hudson, when she's breaking down on the phone, and I was like, oh man, this hit me in the feels. When we get to this moment here, the build up to this moment, and when the fucking blowout happens and just these explosions come in waves, and they just get worse and worse, and then there's fires. Seriously, those sequences are some of the most intense, scariest, most haunting sequences I've seen in quite some time. Like, this movie is the scariest horror film of the year. It's not a horror film, but this is like the scariest film of the year. Holy shit. The suspense, the intensity of this film, I was almost like breaking out in sweat. I don't know, it was almost as if, like, from a cinematography point of view and every other technical aspect of the film, it just almost felt like all the best aspects of Michael Bay and Paul Greengrass just like fused together and formed this movie. This movie is too grim to just be watching it over and over and over again. And there's nothing it's very straightforward. This is not a movie with like symbolism or, some really deep artistic meaning, or, like, this is a very bluntly told, straightforward film, but it is done spectacularly. I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10 for this film. If it's not on my top 10 list, it will most definitely be in my honorable mentions for 2016. But what about you? What do you think?